Last time in this House we debated the applicability of EU laws was on the 8th of December 2020, when we had a DUP minister, quite astoundingly from my point of view, proposing the imposition not of one but of 45 different EU directives into our domestic law. And what Mr. Lyons said on that occasion was this: they will ensure that Northern Ireland's primary legislation that governs plant health and animal health and welfare continues to operate in a way that aligns with the Northern Ireland Protocol. So it certainly is progress to have the DUP to bring a motion today disavowing alignment with the EU Protocol, and it certainly is progress that they have learnt, I hope, a lesson from December 2020, when all of them, with the exception of all members of this House, with the exception of Mr. Wells and myself, voted to impose 45 animal health and plant health measures, including the measure that you can't have British soil brought into Northern Ireland. So it is progress that the DUP is now wakened up to this issue and is now seeking to resist additions to the protocol of these matters. So I do welcome the progress that has been made, and in that it is a watershed. The watershed moment was in December 2020, when the DUP foolishly voted into play 45 EU directives. There was another detrimental watershed moment, and that was when, under the Donaldson deal, the DUP accepted the protocol in terms of Annex 2. Yes, we have all these measures about applicability resolutions, about future EU law. We have the storm and break, for what it's worth, about amendments to existing law. But as Mrs. Dodds pointed out this morning, we have the entirety of Annex 2 of the protocol, 287. I printed off the titles of them in Annex 2. Pages upon pages upon pages. 287 laws that are entirely beyond the reach of this House, which are applied automatically in perpetuity with no consent ever sought or obtained from this House in respect of them. And that is the reality of the Donaldson deal, that not one syllable of any one of those 287 laws is disapplied, but now is accepted in the Donaldson deal. And they're not some incidental amongst... Yes, certainly.
Something that we will agree on, and all Unionists in this chamber will agree on, is the damage done by the Northern Ireland Protocol imposed on this country by Boris Johnson and his colleagues in the Conservative Party. The question for those of us in the Unionist benches is, what are we doing about it? And the stand that the DUP took delivered change when the EU said they would not renegotiate the deal, but they came back to the negotiating table because of the stand that the DUP took. And even then, when we got the Windsor Framework and the improvements then made, we held out for more, and we worked with our government. And would the member not recognise the progress that was made in strengthening the Union document, which will be implemented, and we will see the action plan of that? And whilst we have disagreements on tactics, will he not recognise the DUP twice obtained substantial progress on restoring Northern Ireland's place within the United Kingdom internal market and within the UK, and should give us credit for the progress that was made?
I recognise exactly what the DUP is doing. Under the Donaldson deal, they are implementing the protocol. Because by accepting Annex 2, by accepting the 287 unaltered, unalterable EU laws, they are now implementing, not opposing the protocol. And to be a minister in this House, you must, by law, implement the protocol. That's the product of the case of Rooney against Poots. That's the ruling in the High Court. That is the product of the pledge of office that every DUP minister and other minister has taken. They have pledged to implement the protocol as part of the law. And they are today, without one syllable of Annex 2 being altered or implemented. And what does it include? This is the point I was coming to. It includes the most constitutionally devastating part of the protocol. It includes the imposition in Annex 2 under Article 5.4 of the protocol of the customs code of the EU, putting Northern Ireland subject to our customs code, which decrees unambiguously that GB, as a non-EU member, is a third or foreign country. That is what the DUP is now implementing, a protocol that says that under the customs code, GB is a foreign country. Hence the border in the Irish Sea. Hence the need for all the checks that are there.